Okay, welcome back to another video. So the past month or so, I've been doing these live streams here in the Facebook group, and some of you guys might be catching me on the podcast or on YouTube. And I was supposed to do one of these live streams yesterday, but one, it was Labor Day, but then also two, I went to do my first professional official photo shoot for making content. So that was kind of cool. But I figured I would come on today and still keep up the pattern and the routine that I've been doing and do this week's content today on Tuesday. So for everybody who is here watching live, thank you so much for checking this out. And if you are catching it on the replay, thanks for being here as well. And I wanted to reintroduce myself as well. I realized I haven't done that in a little while, and I know that there are some people who are new to the group or new to the channel. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan. I'm a physical therapist who works with other therapists just like me to start and grow their own cash-based practice so that you can gain more time, financial, and clinical freedom. And I have a bunch more videos in the group on the channel on all different kinds of topics related to this because I started my own practice in 2019. So feel free to check those out and see if there's anything that might be helpful. So today, I wanted to talk about this topic because it's something that I have heard many times, like probably dozens of times in the past 4 years, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions I think when it comes to marketing for your own practice or your own service-based business. And it's the misconception, and this is what people will say and what I've heard, is that if I just get one or two good referral sources, then I'll be set. Me as the practice owner, I will be totally set. If I have good referral sources, I'll be flush with patients, and then I'll have no worries whatsoever. I'll have the, fullest caseload that I could ever want, and everything will be great. And this often comes paired with another statement that I hear a lot, which is like the practice owner saying, I hate all the marketing and sales stuff. I just want to treat patients. I don't want to have to deal with any of the business stuff. I don't want to have to do any of the marketing, and everything will be great. So just cut out all of the perceived hard and difficult aspect of things and just get straight to what it is that you are wanting to do, which is treat patients on your own, finding that clinical freedom. So if you have ever said those things, number one, you're not alone, but I would love to hear more about it. Because I know when I first started too, the thought of doing my own marketing was definitely daunting. And I'm going to share some stuff with you today that I think will help to make it a little bit easier. But if you've ever felt this way, please comment me below or share a little comment and let me know kind of where you're at with this stuff. Because we can definitely talk about it a little bit more. If you've ever said, all I need is one or two referral sources, or I hate doing marketing, I just want to treat patients, please comment me down below. I want to break down these statements for a few reasons because I think it is really imperative to understand that just because you have referral sources doesn't mean that you don't have to put in the work to get them and that you don't have to put in the work to keep the business going. You're also not just magically going to get referral sources just because you opened a practice and then people should send you patients. It just doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of background stuff that goes into it and a lot of hustle as well that you need to commit to in order to really see the results. So I'm bringing this up because, like I said before, it's not the first time that I've heard these things. I'll just get referrals and then it'll be fine, or I really don't want to do the marketing. I really just want to work with patients. It's not the first time that I've heard it, and I've heard it a few times in the past couple of weeks, but I'm bringing this up because I want you to succeed, and I want to share with you the truth of what it takes to succeed in growing a practice. And I want you to also have the proper steps in place so that it makes sense to look for referral sources and make that a big aspect of your overall marketing strategy. And not only look for referral sources, but make it so that they actually send you patients. And there are several steps that you need to do first to make that worthwhile. Because if you don't have them, it's nearly impossible for people to send you patients. First thing I want to address is the statement of, I hate marketing and sales. I just want to treat patients. And my like rebuttal to that statement, and just something for you to think about if you find yourself saying that a lot, is one, first of all, if you hate sales, if you don't want to sell anything, how are you going to make money? That's like one thing. Like, we have to get comfortable with sales in order to make money from doing the sales. The sales are not going to come if you don't want to sell things. And that's just like the plain truth of it. And second of all, if you don't learn how to do marketing for your business, how are people going to know about you to even send you patients? Taylor and I did a video last week on why creating content is so important, and part of it is building awareness and establishing credibility. That's part of what content marketing gets you. And overall, marketing, like, this is something else that I have learned probably in the past like year or so. The term marketing gets thrown around a lot, and I hear it often. Like, a lot of practice owners will say, like, I just need better marketing. I need to do marketing with the goal and desire of getting patients. But what marketing is helping to generate awareness and get traffic and engagement, so that then like the sales skills can take over to actually obtain the patient. So marketing is not going to get you clients. Sales skills are. So marketing, if you don't do the marketing, if you don't create the awareness and establish credibility and build an audience and a network, nobody's going to know about you, and they're not going to be able to send you patients. So that's something else that's really important to remember. So, those two things. If you don't want to sell anything, how are you going to make money? And if you don't want to do marketing, how are people going to know about you to even send people your way? And going back to the original statement of, I hate marketing and sales, I just want to treat patients. If you just want to treat patients and you don't want to do any of the marketing, sales, or other business skills that you need to succeed, then just stay in your staff clinician job. That's okay. I bring that up sometimes, and I want to throw that out there because I think that in our industry, there is a lot of buzz around like everybody starting their own business. And maybe it's just me with like the like network that I have online, and we're kind of in this group of everybody wants to do their own thing. But like, if you feel any pressure at all to leave your job because it seems like everybody is, just know that you don't have to. Like, if you don't want to run a business and you don't want to do marketing, you don't want to do sales, then just stay in your staff clinician job. That's totally okay. However, if you do want to treat patients independently and in the way that you want to, that helps to support them and the ideal life for yourself, then you have to learn sales and marketing skills. That's the only way you're going to grow a business. If you don't have those skill sets and that understanding, you can't go anywhere. To make it a little bit easier, I also wanted to just throw out there, if you really feel like you're struggling with marketing and you just feel like, maybe you put up a website, you post things online willy-nilly, but like you don't really have a plan, and you're just like really tired of feeling frazzled and stressed and not really sure where your next patients are going to come from, I do have another mini course that I put together last year called Marketing Rescue that I think will be really helpful. It walks you through like all the basics that you need, similar, I guess, like in like flavor, so to speak, to the therapy business basics course that I have. But Marketing Rescue walks you through everything that you need to create a really solid outline to have a good marketing plan moving forward. So if that is something that you're interested in, you can find the link in the description below for Marketing Rescue, the mini course, and you can use the code MARKET50 to get 50% off. You can also find it on my website under the courses tab. Just some more information if you feel really lost with marketing in general. So getting back to referrals, one avenue that comes with a successful marketing strategy is getting referrals, having patients refer other patients to you, having professionals professionals refer patients to you. And this can be done through working with patients and achieving good outcomes so that they feel comfortable referring friends and family to you, or building relationships with other providers so that they can refer their patients and clients to you. And this also I would classify as networking, where you're building relationships and spreading your message so that other professionals can send their clientele to you the specialist, to help them work on things. And this is absolutely a way to continue to build your practice and get referrals. I want to make it clear that I'm not like bashing getting referrals. I just think that there's a very like specific way that you have to go about it in order to actually make it beneficial and get you the results that you want. And there are like two really big problems with the approach of I'm going to get referrals to help grow my caseload. And they are going to become really big problems if you are not approaching a referral strategy correctly. So the one main problem, and this kind of goes back to like the main like quote that I hear from people, that is like the biggest issue is, saying like, I just need referral sources and then I'll be good. I'll have all the patients I need. And the problem with that is the fact that you are depending on external referral sources for your business to grow rather than creating a marketing plan that allows you to get your own patient. I have always believed in my entire career as a business person that you need to be capable of getting your own clients. You have to be able to generate that on your own because like while referral sources are nice, they're amazing, usually a great conversion rate, and it just, really builds relationships, builds community. If you base like 100% of the success of your business on another entity sending you patients, it's not going to be good. It's shaky in terms of a marketing strategy at best because like anything could happen, like that relationship could go south, that business could go completely under the next day. And then where would you be if you are, depending on like say a chiropractor and a massage therapist to send you patients, and that's the only way that you find patients? They both decide they're done with business, don't want to do it anymore. They all of a sudden are not going to be sending you a steady stream of patients. And what are you going to do now? And another way that like this kind of, I guess like comes across to me just saying, like I'll just get referral sources and then I won't have to worry about marketing, is like looking at it through the lens of depending on that other source to provide you with patients. You are kind of taking advantage of the time and effort and energy that other provider or other professional put into building relationships with their own network and clientele and building trust with them. It's kind of like taking advantage of that by you not putting any effort into it and just depending on them to send people over to you. Like you're relying on the like potentially like months and years that business owner has spent doing their own marketing and relationship building, and you're just kind of like taking the fruits of their labor in a way. And I think that that's a pretty like cut and dry way to look at it. But by just like approaching getting referrals with that in mind, like, oh, like they have access to the clientele that I want, I'll just get them as a referral source and it'll be fine. Not great. It's not gonna fly for long, and it doesn't really land well. You have to be willing to put in the work yourself in order to build those relationships and build the trust that you need for people to come here. And overall, I also really believe that the best marketing strategy is one that has multiple avenues, not just one. If you kind of like pigeonhole yourself, like everybody always is worried about pigeonholing themselves in terms of a niche, but if you pigeonhole yourself with a marketing strategy where you solely depend like on one doctor's office to send you patients, anything could happen and now you don't have patients. However, if you build a marketing strategy that has a few different avenues, if one goes down, you still have the other avenues, so your business will stay afloat and stay steady. The second problem with saying like I'll just get, a referral source and everything will be fine is that if you don't do the work to understand for yourself who you work with, what problem you solve, and what solution you offer and you're not able to clearly communicate that, even if you build a relationship with another provider, they are not going to know who to send you to, like who to send you in terms of patients. They're going to have no idea. They might like you, but they might have a whole group of clientele and not know what patients are appropriate to send to you. So they just won't. And that this is like where we're really getting into the parts of like what you need in order to get like good referrals and actually develop referral sources. With this, let me illustrate it. I'll paint you a picture, of myself. So say like you and I are getting to know each other, business owner to business owner. I'm a physical therapist and I tell you, another provider, that I help get people out of pain without surgery. But I work with kids, athletes, older adults, people who have like workers' cases, neurological conditions, pelvic floor problems, muscle and joint issues. I offer fitness programming. I do yoga classes. I fit wheelchairs. I do massage and manual therapy, etc. Like I list out all these things. And, I even like saying that, I even like forgot the first part of the statement of getting people out of pain without surgery. But like I got lost saying that. And, for you listening, what kind of patients are you going to send me? I know I would have no idea. I wouldn't really know like what experience also a patient is going to have with you. So probably I'm just not going to send patients to me, if this is me describing myself, versus if I tell you, like, hey, I'm Morgan, I'm a PT and I help female fitness athletes work out without peeing their pants or struggling with joint pain during weightlifting. You know exactly who to send to me and who not to send to me. It also sounds more credible if you say, something along those lines, like I help female fitness athletes work out without peeing their pants. Or like I have a client that you will be meeting soon. I'm going to be interviewing her for the podcast, but she is a pediatric physical therapist and she helps parents learn how to do tummy time with their kids. That's, one of the things that she does, but I know exactly who to refer to her. And there's a lot of power behind being very specific in what it is that you're doing, because, not only does it sound a little bit more like credible, like, oh, like they, know what they're doing because it's more specific, but by streamlining the target audience and the niche, not only do I identify myself as a specialist in this area, but it's going to make my job easier long term, because if I niche down, have a specific target audience, I will get better at fixing this problem for these people, because I am going to be putting in the reps that I need in order to get better at it. You're also saving me, you, and the patient time, because we aren't all going to have to talk and have different conversations and then realize that we're actually not a good fit to work together, just to have to try to refer them out to somebody else. And in the end, by you niching down, you're going to actually help build more trust between the patient and the referring provider, because the patient will know that the referring provider actually gets their problem. And by continuing to like build those relationships and build that trust there, it's only going to strengthen the business results for everybody. And that patient is going to have such a good experience that they are going to continue to refer, their friends and family to see you and the referring provider. So with all of this being said, I know this is a lot, so thank you for hanging in with me. How do you go about getting more patient referrals? I know that this is quite a bit of talking to kind of lead up to this, but it's so important to know that you can't just get referral sources and be good to go. There is so much work that needs to be done so that you have a really good understanding of where you are and you can communicate it clearly moving forward, so that people can make those referrals. So, and I also just want to again point out that like you need to understand that developing referral sources is not going to be like, it shouldn't be viewed as the thing that's going to save your practice. It's not the thing that is going to keep you afloat. It is a nice to have. It is not a need to have. And if you feel like it is a need to have, you need to go back to the drawing board in terms of creating a marketing strategy, because there are so many other avenues you can go down to find patients, and you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and do that and not depend on another entity to send you patients. Again, I, probably sound like a broken record, but once you have that understanding, you need to be really crystal clear about who it is that you work with and what problem you solve so that you can communicate it to your patients, family, friends, other providers, and other professionals. They aren't just going to send people to you because they know you. Like, it might happen, but if I'm a professional, would I rather send somebody to my friend who might be able to help, or would I rather send my patient to an expert that I know will be able to help? Like, and they need to be able to, the referring providers need to be able to communicate to their own network what problem you solve, because that's what future patients are going to contact you about. The problem that they have, that they heard that you solve from, these providers you've talked to and from patients that you've treated in the past. That's why it needs to be clear. If it's not clear, it is not going to result in referrals, let alone sales. So once you have a clear marketing message, the message needs to be plastered everywhere. People need to know. You are not going to bother people by putting it out there on the internet and talking about it in person. People need to be reminded of things. Like, it's something like 7 to 14 times before they even start to like think about taking an action on something. So when you have a clear marketing message, you need to put it up on your website, on Google. If you do business cards, yes, Instagram, Facebook, if you do TikTok, if you do bumper stickers, mailers, if you are doing paid advertising, whatever it is, that message needs to be everywhere and you need to talk about it. You can create your own credibility by starting to build it. If you don't put in that legwork, people are not going to trust you enough to spend their money with you and work with you. So you've got a clear marketing message, and now you can actually start working on networking and sharing your messaging. By building these relationships, it's going to give you the opportunity to ask for what you want, new patient. If you don't have the clear marketing message of who you are trying to work with, and if you don't have the credibility and ability to communicate what it is that you do and what you've helped people with in the past, it makes it really hard then to ask for referrals, which is what you have to do in order to get their referrals. Like, people might send patients to you, which is great, but an even speedier way to get there is to ask your patients and ask other providers to send people to you. And, like, there are different ways to communicate that in different language to use, but you have to ask for what you want. And it is, not going to fall on receptive ears if you haven't put in the work to create the actual like environment and opportunity that's conducive to getting the referrals. And finally, the part that most people dread, and I know this as somebody who, can get bored kind of easily with what I'm doing, is you have to create consistency. So like, when it comes to creating a system to help you get referrals, this is something that is a day in, day out thing over a long period of time in order to see success. We do a thing in the DPT to CEO program called the 100 Challenge, and we did it in the Facebook group here a few years ago as well, that teaches you exactly how to do this and gives you a process so that it is easy, it's simple, and it's repeatable. The hardest part is executing and actually doing the work. And that is the thing that is going to drive results in the long term, is if you are able to come up with a system and a strategy after doing the foundational work that allows you to repeat it over and over and over again, day to day, week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year, so that you are able to get the results over time. If you don't have something that is functioning on a regular basis to build relationships, drive traffic, create awareness, create engagement, and give you opportunities to talk to potential patients, it is going to make your business feel very unstable, and also drive you to probably think, let me just find a referral source because that is going to be easier. And I'm not the first to tell you, but I will tell you that there is no easy way out. I've tried. And you have to do the things that are challenging in order to see the success that you want. So I hope that all of this helps. I know that you might be wanting like more details with everything, and that is definitely where the comments come in. So ask me questions down below and I'll be happy to answer them. Getting referrals is not an easy thing. You have to put several steps into place before it makes sense to start to establish referral relationships. And we outlined some of the stuff tonight or this morning, whenever you're watching it or listening. And there's more to it. So another thing too, if you're listening to this, if you have any experience with developing referral relationships, please leave a comment below, and what you're doing right now to create referral sources. I'm sure everybody here would love to hear more. And if you have any other ideas, let me know. But otherwise, if you need any help with any of this stuff, I always offer complimentary consultations, video calls. So if you have questions, need help with anything, just head over to my website, morganmeese.com, and you should see in the tab for book an appointment, I think, to schedule a consultation. And we can talk, figure out where you're at with things, and go from there. But otherwise, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and I will see you on the next